If the history of boxing has taught us anything, it is that the overlooked foe is often the most dangerous. Just as the unseen punch is most likely to end the fight, the prohibitive underdog is often the one to unseat a truly great champion. When Wilfredo Gomez neglected to prepare for Salvador Sanchez, or when the aging Max Schmeling capitalized on the inexperience of the young Joe Louis, or when Buster Douglas knocked out Mike Tyson as a 42-1 underdog. Boxing has always been a stage for the most poignant human drama, and proof that no challenger is to be counted out before the final bell. Such could very well be the case with Chris Algieri, the next opponent of pound-for-pound great Manny Pacquiao. Though Algieri comes in as nearly a 6-1 underdog, many in the boxing world have sensed the upset. Algieri possesses a keen mind for boxing, an excellent jab, and the reach advantage to go along with it. If Pacquiao wants to remain the champion, he will need to find a way around Algieri's long arms. Fortunately, he's done that many times before. This is Manny Pacquiao, closing the gap. When fans think of Manny Pacquiao, they often think of the wild brawler who shocked super bantamweight champ Lelo Ledwaba in 2001 with a mixture of speed, power, and raw, unbridled aggression. But the fact is, that Pacquiao doesn't exist anymore. The change came against Mexican legend Erik Morales, who cleverly outboxed and outfought Pacquiao over 12 rounds in 2005. Morales was the first fighter to teach Pacquiao that youth and athleticism alone weren't enough to beat his potent combination of will and skill. So when Pacquiao rematched Morales in 2006, he fought a much more disciplined fight and beat him. Then, later that year, he did it even better. The traditional wisdom is that shorter fighters must be aggressive to beat taller, longer ones. The idea is to negate the bigger man's reach by getting inside the range of his extended arms, where shorter limbs are more effective. However, Freddie Roach's refined Manny Pacquiao usually takes a different approach. He forces the taller man to negate his own reach advantage himself. While Morales isn't actually longer limbed than Pacquiao, his jab and long straight right were the keys to his victory in their first bout. Pacquiao began the third fight by floating around Morales, well outside of effective striking range. In this way, Pacquiao goaded Morales into reaching for him, after which the Filipino knockout artist quickly set the tone for the rest of the fight. As Morales advances behind a feint, Pacquiao steps back to the edge of punching range. Morales stays on him, quickly stepping forward to land his right hand. As he throws it, however, Pacquiao takes another small step backward and pulls himself just out of the way of the punch, leaving Morales badly overextended, note that his right foot is actually off the ground at this point, and exposed to a counter. Pacquiao pauls with his right to measure the range and keep Morales off balance, then quickly follows with a sharp left hand and a right uppercut to seal the deal. For the rest of the fight, Pacquiao picked Morales apart, not from long range, but using traps at long range to create the middle distance he prefers. And when Pacquiao senses that his opponent is ready to go, he is one of the most fearsome finishers in the fight game. In other words, once you give him his preferred range, it becomes very difficult to take it away from him. One opponent who did have a significant reach advantage over Pacquiao was Oscar de la Hoya. Though Pacquiao ended up easily dominating the fight, many at the time predicted that the Golden Boy would simply be too tall, too long, and too big for the surging Filipino. From the early stages of the bout, De La Hoya looked to utilize his jab to keep Pacquiao at range, but he quickly discovered that Manny was prepared for precisely that. Observe. Pacquiao begins by offering De La Hoya his own jab, not intending to land the punch, but rather inviting his rangy opponent to jab with him. When De La Hoya concedes, Pacquiao is ready with one of his favorite punches, the soft left hand. His head travels to the outside of De La Hoya's jab. Oscar does manage to clip the side of Manny's head, but he is met with a stiff punch to the chest in return. His next attempt misses entirely, and is met with an even more punishing straight left to the face. Manny finishes by re-establishing the range with his own jab, forcing De La Hoya to fight long, which should suit him, but in fact grants Pacquiao the space and time he needs to find more openings for counters. Pacquiao also excels when it comes to angular movement, very useful for slipping past the punches and footwork of a clever foe. One of his most trustworthy tactics is to circle left, toward the right hands of his orthodox opponents, which once again flies in the face of conventional wisdom. Nonetheless, Pacquiao uses this movement to facilitate his trusty left hand, and to ensure that his opponent doesn't see it coming. Watch the trick at work against Brandon Rios. First, Pacquiao steps deliberately back and to the left, inviting Rios to move forward and cut him off. His goal is to time Rios' movement and counter it with his left hand. Here, Rios and Pacquiao are positioned neutrally, the toes of their lead feet pointed directly at one another. Pacquiao once again moves to his left, keeping a close eye on Rios. When Rios moves to stay with Pacquiao, he anticipates further movement and ends up stepping too far to his own right, giving Manny's lead foot an easy path past his own. This creates the coveted outside angle, from which the southpaw lands a pair of left hands. The Pacquiao of old was undeniably exciting, but he simply doesn't exist anymore. In his place is this, a less volatile, less dangerous, but far more crafty fighter, capable of setting sophisticated traps and carefully walking his unwitting opponents into them. Chris Algieri has the length, the youth, and the undefeated record, but just like Pacquiao himself in that first bout with Morales, he may soon find out that he's not yet ready for an all-time great. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit like on the YouTube page. For more analysis like this, head over to badlefthook.com and bloodyelbow.com. Thanks for watching.